happy to be here and to see all my Australian mates, and particularly Pat, who has run many kilometres to get here. We talked about this 6 months ago. It's just an idea. It was a crazy idea when I met Pat in Australia, and I said to him, you know, if you say to an Israeli that you go from the North Pole to the South Pole non-stop, like 10 months and 13 days, they'll say you're meshuga, which means you're crazy. Remember that? But then I said to him, but you know, to go from Lebanon to Jerusalem, now that's impossible. And Pat said, what's impossible about it? And then we sat down and we looked on the map, and then Pat said it's 600 kilometres. It's nothing. It's not worth it. And I said, well, why don't we throw in Jordan as well, because we have peace with Jordan. And then we made this route 1,500 kilometres for Pat to run for peace. And here he is today, 10 days into his run. He has another 10 days to go. And I'm just really happy that you can make it here, and you'll see in Israel people will really welcome you. They're waiting for you and all your crew.
When you say that you're Australian, that could mean anything. I myself, I'm half Irish and half Italian. And then who knows what my grandparents were before that. But I do know this, that we all came from one place. It was a place of humanity. We're all human beings. We're all on this planet together. And as Danny alluded to earlier on, if one man can run from one end of this planet, from the North Pole all the way through to the South Pole, by simply putting one foot in front of the other, if one man can head off in the ice, be dropped off by Russian helicopter in the North Pole, and put one foot in front of the other all the way across the ice to Canada, and from Canada to beyond to the United States of America, then through America to Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Costa Rica, the list goes on and on and on. Ecuador, Colombia, Mexico of course is in there. 14 different nations and all the way through to the South Pole. If one man can do that with his footsteps, then this world is not such a big place after all. If I can do that in 10 months and 13 days, if I can do that with these feet, then this world is not such a big place after all. And the things that we do in Australia do affect the rest of the world, and the things that happen in the rest of the world do affect us. I would like to draw your attention to a poster that I noticed on the wall here, dating back to the 90s, where there was a treaty signed, a peace treaty signed, between the country that I've just been in, Jordan, and Israel. Two countries that were at war with each other. They signed a peace agreement. Now they live in harmony with each other and they trade with each other. Israel is a place that has water on one side, Lebanon on the other, of course Jordan on the other side, and Egypt down the bottom. So with that in mind, the purpose of this journey is to show Australian people the beauty of Israel and the beauty of its people, but also to try and break down the barriers, to try and be a go-between, to try and highlight humanity at its best, to try and show the faces of the people that I meet along the way, regardless of the borders I cross or the people, or the origin of the people that I meet. The purpose of this journey is really all about just showing a face of humanity and putting my hand out to shake the hand of the person that I pass. The purpose of this journey is to show everybody that distance need not be a barrier. The purpose of this journey is also to show that I'm prepared to hurt myself. I'm prepared to be in pain. I'm prepared to endure whatever weather conditions are thrown at me. I run long distances, long distances, day after day after day. I will run more than 1,000 kilometres on this journey without a day off. I've already run many hundreds of kilometres to get to this point, and I would continue on. And you know, I looked at the faces of the children that I saw in Jordan yesterday, and I turned to one of my crew members, Katie, and I said to Katie, my crew member, I said, you see the look on these little children's faces? I would gladly give up this life of mine for any one of these children, even though I don't know them, even though I don't know these kids. I would gladly sacrifice my own life for theirs if I knew that they would have a better quality of life. And so, no matter what is thrown in front of me in the way of difficulty of mountain terrains or heat of the desert or torrential rain like we experienced in Petra, no matter what's there in front of me, you can understand this, that I'm more than happy to take on that burden and to push forward for the sake of furthering this peace process and for being a conduit between Israel and the rest of the world. And to the Israeli people that have already made significant inroads as far as peace is concerned, can I say to each and every one of you through the media, please, please don't let the peace process die. Please continue it on. I know that governments from time to time have agendas, and it's easy for governments to give up on things when talks break down. But it's the people on the ground that have to live with the decisions of their governments. And so that's why this run is what it is. I was a minister in the Australian government, but I don't come here as a minister. I don't come here as a politician. I come here as a marathon runner, as an ordinary person that's prepared to work and deal with other ordinary people for the sake of peace. For the sake of peace, because collectively we are a huge number. Us ordinary people are the people that get on with the day-to-day running of this country and every other country around the world.